Now, I've come to the heart of the design competition. That's what it was, wasn't it? Was it?
Yeah, inventors competition.
Oh, inventors competition, of course. And one of the inventors is right here with me now, Ben Wall.
Yep.
Tell me, you are a crazy inventor. I'd love to know. I'd love to have a closer look at what's going on in there, because he thinks about things with a totally different perspective.
Oh.
And there's a huge variety of inventions here. But when did you become an inventor, or is it just happened?
It just happened a couple of months ago, and I had an idea. Well, there's been a lot of ideas I wanted to make out of waste materials, and the Inventors Fair came on, and I thought we should make them finally instead of thinking about them. So I thought, let's make them and build them.
So anyone can be.
Oh, everyone's an inventor. It's just waiting for the right idea and the right time to make it. So this happened for me last month, so here we go.
That's cool. So you've now got on your card, Ben Wall, recent inventor. Oh, and with your award. So you won the Desert Smart Eco Invention.
2012.
This is the winner. So tell me about the cubes.
Well, this is an exhibition of a few inventions, and it's housed inside the two cubes. So
let's walk in there.
The two cubes, the bigger cube is the daily CO2 emissions for an average Australian. 77 kilos per Australian, average of 28 tonnes a year. It's the world's largest emitter of CO2.
That is not a good award.
No, that's not
for
a
us
good
to
award.
have.
And that's the
largest
volume
emitter
it takes. Every Australian puts out that much CO2 pollution. This is the average for the world citizen.
That big.
This is 16 kilos a day, and this is actually where we need to sort of be to sort of stabilise. Well, probably about 4 tonnes a year, so even smaller than that, which we need to do to stabilise climate change.
But I love the fact that you just come up with that simple idea, just a little bit of steel, and suddenly people can see it. Because when you read it on a piece of paper, it's not going to mean anything.
Well, there's a good site actually for people. I got all this from Carbon Quilt. There's a website where you actually can visualise your emissions, the national emissions or the global emissions, and you can do it for a sphere or you can do it for a cube. Cubes are easy to build.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a year's worth, but it would have been
over.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the bush fridge.
Look at this, a bush fridge.
So this fridge is actually based on the African pot in a pot fridge, and this is my sort of like this is the next version of it. The African pot in a pot is 2 ceramic pots, and similar concept, and it's based on evaporative cooling. So
it's cool in there.
Yeah, but it's not even working yet because you got to wet it. So,
but it's still cool.
It's still cool because this is very high insulation material. It's paper and sand, and it's got tubes embedded all through the walls and just connected to your garden reticulation. And water will be in here, and water will be just be damp in there, and it will draw out all the heat from the inner chamber. So you'll be able to keep your veggies in there for over a month, fresh, rather than a couple of days if you just didn't have a fridge. So I built this because fridges are a major contributor to CO2.
Yeah.
Because they've got to be on all the time. You need baseload power. If you don't, if you didn't have a fridge, then you can get by easier on solar.
Now this is taking that idea another step.
Yep.
It's a bigger structure. What's going on here?
So this is the mushroom, the mushy room to grow mushrooms in the desert. It's designed to keep high humidity and to keep the mushrooms insulated from the extremes of weather. So it's a similar principle. You wet the walls and it will draw out the heat, but also this will also contribute humidity. You need nearly 95% humidity for mushrooms because they're mostly water. I love to be able to grow them because you can grow a lot in a small space, which we need, and and hopefully one day I'll be able to grow heaps and sell them to the restaurants. Oh well, that's the shit brick. It's a mixture of paper and manure. It's the idea is to be able to grow vertical gardens and roof gardens cheaply for insulation, but also just extra growing room. So obviously, most of the time they're quite expensive and to build roof gardens because of their weight and their supporting material. This is just recycled paper mixed with your cow manure and with some grass seed in it, and you can mix it in a slurry and pour it in a wet state on your roof, and it will dry, and it also harvests water because it retains water, and you can run pipes that will feed the plants hydroponically as well, and it should work.
That's the thing. If we worry about it not working, we'll never set off and design something.
No, yeah,
that's
it's
what
working.
I like. It is working.
Yeah, that's kikuyu glass. It's already been through a few frosts and it's all right. Yeah, kikuyu, I think. That's how you say it? Kikuyu.
Kikuyu. It's all just invasive grass anyway.
All right, this is my favourite one.
Oh.
So this is the first one I did. This is the Wiggler. So it's worm farm furniture. So we have problems in the desert with worms, but we need them to reduce our waste, to stop the methane gas emissions. So I wanted people to have more worm farms, so I thought we'd design a piece of furniture.
Well, I'll take a photo as well.
And,
keep going.
That's so be integrated into the community, everyone's house better. So the form is this function here. It's made out of paper. It's strong enough to sit on. It's like this. So you can sit on it and have a cup of tea while the worms are doing their business below. Yeah.
Ooh. Have a cup of tea.
It's the Wiggler.
Tea,
yeah,
please. Where's the tea?
Yeah. We can have some worm tea, Costa. Oh, yum.
You're on fire. You're on fire. Have a look in.
Take the lid off. You can put him off. So he's an insulated lid. So it's divided into two, so you can easily harvest the worms. You just start feeding one side, and they all go over there, and then you get all the castings over the other side. It also has a little outlet for worm tea. Yeah. So this is very insulated, and it will keep them happy and productive, even in summer, I think. So they will keep it reproducing, because at the moment in summer they just stop really. It gets too hot and they overheat, and you need a fair amount of happy worms to decompose your food. So people get discouraged in worm farms because they just don't work that well. But yeah. So it's all this and the mushroom. Yeah, this is not very successful, but it was meant to be a table as well. So you sort of integrate food production into furniture just to get people using it more.
Yeah. I mean, it's the thinking. I love your thinking.
Thanks. Yeah. It's working.
Yeah.
It should work. And this is the fruity stool. We're getting there. The fruity stool is a biodegradable septic tank. So it's a form of a worm dry composting system. So it's actually quite a shame that we flush away drinkable water for our waste when there's a lack of water in the world, and that we spend massive amounts of money on expensive processing systems it's actually a good resource. There are good dry composting toilets. This is just another version, because some people don't like doing the waste, cleaning it out and stuff. And I just thought you just plant it in the ground and then put a tree in 6 months' time, and it'll be all composted. And this will probably stay stable for at least a couple of years. It's very strong. That's the thin render with gypsum and lime, biodegradable materials that will be beneficial to alkaline soils, and that should work.
Again, give it a crack.
All right, and this is the last thing. It's called the Tower of No Power and the Tunnel of Love. This is kind of
engaging stuff.
It's a scale model for a house, really. This is inspired by Persian wind towers, and it's a combination of a wind tower and a swampy air conditioner. So basically, it works by wetting the walls and cooling the air inside. It has a little pond down the bottom that will also help cool the air. It's a kind of a fun idea at the moment. I'm hoping, to you know, it needs a bit more development with architects. But if I build a house, I would build this twice as high with something to collect the wind, tubes embedded in here, an aquaponic system at the bottom, which will keep the water, and also the gravel will retain the heat better, and then funnel that into your house. Yeah. So
This is just rewind this in your own time and just think about what he's doing. Ben's just putting layer upon layer upon layer of ideas and systems. And who says he can't?